Well, hello there. Welcome to Matters of DeCorum. I'm Scott Corum. This is what matters to me. A little Star Wars on my mind lately. Thought I would share some thoughts and go on a ramble. Uh, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars. Maybe I could do something a little bit more appropriate. Like, there we go. Yeah, better. Lightsaber combat. I started the channel with lightsabers. I'll probably one day end the channel with lightsabers. Another lightsaber meme went around a little while ago, and I'm right there on the edge to a month ago last Tuesday, uh, where some clever internet folks figured out the loophole in lightsaber combat. This is how I know it's no good, because some clever internet folks came up with a loophole. This one is wherein you are taking a swing at somebody, but you cheekily turn off your lightsaber at the moment they would parry it, and then turn it back on and finish your strike, and you automatically get past their parry and kill them. Oh wow, that's super effective. Should we tell anyone about this? I mean, you automatically win lightsaber fights like this. And it got out there enough that people had to respond, that people had to come up with all the reasons they thought, well, that wouldn't work. Many of which boiled down to, well, Jedi wouldn't do that because that's not in proper practice with the lightsaber. That's not how you go about it. There are disciplines and acceptable moves and stuff, and you just don't do that. And the Sith, much the same way, well, it's not honorable to turn off your lightsaber in the middle of combat. You don't prove anything in a combat where you've done that to cheat. I dislike these explanations intensely. As balletic and as wonderful as lightsaber fights are, I personally consider them an art form. Uh, they're also fights to the death between people who have no real ideological middle ground. Uh, no quarter asked, no quarter given. Those are fights where there are no rules. Where if you have something that's going to give you an advantage, like turning off your lightsaber in the middle of a strike, yeah, you would do that. So why don't they? I mean, the easy answer is, well, the writers just don't want people to do that. You know, it seems cheap. You want the dramatic lightsaber fight, and that's not my kind of answer. You know, that's not my kind of answer. I had to work out why the Kessel Run was a measurement of distance instead of parsecs, and I did it long before they did it in Solo. Came to the same result. Not that hard, but here's why is there a canon reason? Is there a reason according to the rules given to us by the universe that turning off your lightsaber in the middle of a fight to avoid a parry isn't something that's generally done? Yeah, I can do that. I'm going to use the role playing game as source here, the West End D6 role playing game. To this day, the best role playing game for playing in the Star Wars universe. And partially because they went to such effort to codify a lot of the rules, and also because of that amazing interplay between the role playing game and the canon movies and television series and literature. Because early on, the role playing game adapted a lot of artist sketches and things from the concept books that did not make it into the movies, that later were the movies pulled from the role playing game for the information that they generated about those early sketches. So you get things like swoops. So I feel safe using the role playing game as source for this. Lightsaber fighting is not like any other form of combat. even in the Star Wars universe. Uh, when you pick up a lightsaber, you are informed by the rules that you really need to have the force discipline of lightsaber fighting in order to use that sword correctly, or you stand a good chance of injuring yourself, of things not going the way you want them to. And one, because lightsabers are so dangerous, uh, it's not like if you accidentally pick up a sword by the wrong end, you might cut yourself. If you pick up a lightsaber by the wrong end, you're losing the hand, at least. The lightsabers are very dangerous things. But also, failing to maintain control over a lightsaber means you're probably going to lose a limb. Failing to lose control over weapons happens. You fumble blasters, your sword gets knocked out of your control. These things can happen. When it happens to the lightsaber, you're endangering not only yourself, but everything in your environment. It's good to have discipline to use that weapon the way it needs to be done. And what does it take? Well, in the West End D6 games, Star Wars, the Force has three different branches: control, sense, alter. Control is self-control, controlling the body, controlling the metabolism, and giving yourself more endurance, jumping higher, running faster, uh, doing backflips through the jungle with a Muppet on your back, stuff like that. Things that allow you to control your body and how your body functions. Sense is that sensation of everything around you, building a picture of the world around you without using your sight or your sense of sound or anything, but rather just knowing, an instinct deeper than instinct, using the force and its relationship between all things to build a picture of the universe in your head, of the universe as it is now, and how that universe has been in the past and will be in the future. We'll get back to this. Alter is the telekinetic aspect of the Force, where you can manipulate matter and energy in space around you through manipulation of the Force to push or pull or choke or crush, or ostensibly maybe to heal, depending on how you look at it. There are disciplines in the Force choke, that's alter, or Force navigation. That's control and sense, so you can draw a picture between you and where you're at and your environment and where you need to go. There's only one Force discipline in the book, at least the basic book, that requires control, sense, and alter all at the same time. That's lightsaber combat. And we can see why that might be. Control because you want the endurance, you want the finesse and the agility, you want the precision necessary. You don't want your hand to weaken at the wrong time, your arm to fall out of position. Uh, you want to have the endurance to continue a fight because lightsaber fights tend to go on for longer than most melee combats should. Sense, we'll get back to that. Alter is also very useful. Increasing the force of a blow. Sometimes you do want to increase the amount of force behind a blow. Regaining a weapon once you've been disarmed. Things like that. With sense, what are you sensing? What are you sensing when you are in the middle of a lightsaber combat? Well, where the other lightsaber is, or where the blaster bolts are coming from. Where those things are, what direction they're coming from, and when they are going to arrive. We learn from the movies that learning sense, learning to far see, is a key not just to understanding what else is happening in the universe right now, but to understanding what's happening in the past or in the future when Luke is learning to far see from Yoda in Empire Strikes Back. Oh, he sees his friends. He sees his friends being tortured. But even Yoda can't tell him if that's the past, the present, or the future. Because the future is always moving, always changing. The further ahead you try to look in the future, the more difficult it is. But a few seconds, not that hard. Sense is so important an aspect of lightsaber combat that it's one of the first things a Jedi learns. I'm not sure what a Sith learns first because we don't see that much of it, but we see Luke, the second time he picks up a lightsaber, training within a couple of days of meeting Obi-Wan Kenobi, on the Falcon, on the way to Alderaan, put on the blaster helmet. No. Blaster shield down. Don't use your vision. Your vision can trick you. Act on instinct. Let the Force guide your actions. He's learning sense. He's learning sense to perceive when the attacks are coming. Doing a pretty good job of it, too. Kind of a savant when it comes to that. Parries 3 or 4 shots after only 2 or 3 tries. That's darn impressive. Wasn't just learning to know where those were coming from. When they were there, you can see his motions. He's parrying before the attack comes. He knows when it's going to be. What are the younglings learning in the prequels? The younglings training sabers, helmets, shields. They're learning sense exactly the same way. That's how important it is. So you know where all the lightsabers in the fight are, all the combatants in the fight, and where they're going to be. Non-canon, well, not strictly canon, lots of different sources. There are 2 Force users through the events of the Star Wars trilogy who are adept at reading the future. Palpatine and Yoda. Palpatine, a little bit better. Palpatine is also using his ability to see the future to, well, he's finding his junctures where he can make the most things happen, where a push or a shove will have the most effect. And he's engaging in warfare during this time, knowing that warfare throws off the Jedi, something fierce. That even if Yoda was trying to look for him using far-seeing past the Clone Wars, he wouldn't be able to spot what's going on. The two of the best lightsaber fighters that we're aware of during that time, Palpatine and Yoda. I don't believe it's a coincidence that they're also 2 of the most adept farseers. They see ahead a few seconds. They lick the next few seconds. Where are the junctures? Where are the branches? Where do I need to be to avoid the bad way out? What is my best path? That's why lightsaber fights tend to look like ballets, like dances. A good lightsaber fight does, at least. Because both of those people are aware of the same set of actions coming up. Both of them are stepping into them looking for their advantage. Looking for where's the moment that I can strike for most advantage. Where the probabilities are that my strike will land where their strike won't. In a fight where you are feeling your way ahead, half second by half second, the opponent turning off their lightsaber is a big event, a big branch in that. Because yeah, if they were able to capitalize on that maneuver, that could be a win. But it's also them turning off their defenses. As they are coming in, they open themselves up. It's not hard to just re-angle your saber. It's one of the fastest maneuvers you can do is just to, well, I was coming in for a blow, but now I'm just going to thrust to the heart. Their lightsaber's off. What are they going to do? I put it to you that people did not turn their lightsabers off in the middle of combat for a momentary advantage in a comedy bit because that was almost unerringly a death sentence. That if their opponent was even vaguely trained, if they had just a few moments of prescience in this fight, turning off your lightsaber is the worst idea you could possibly have, because they're going to know. They're going to know, oh, there's coming up a moment. There's going to be a half instant there where they're just going to be completely open. Okay, that's how they want to go. That makes a lot more sense to me. Um, you look at some of the more the Revenge of the Sith was life support for a 20-minute fight scene, and you look at that fight scene where there's these moments where Anakin and Obi-Wan are going at it and then stop, change their tactics entirely, stop crossing blades and go to building up momentum so they can try for a power maneuver against one another, or they stop crossing blades and go to try and force push each other, putting extra time and effort into it because each of them knows the other one's about to do that, and if they don't try to match it, they might lose at that moment. It all seems very plain and clear to me. Yeah, that time factor is a very large reason these things are happening and why things look that way and why you don't feckin' turn off your lightsaber in the middle of it. Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? Yeah, I may have put too much mental effort and time into this, but that's kind of what I do. I'm happy with that answer. Are you? Is that the kind of thing that processes through when, if you have even considered this? What other things might I have missed? Am I reading too much into this? Because I think I'm reading just enough into it. It gives me another grip on lightsaber combat and how things look in the fights. But let me know. Drop me a note down below and let me know if maybe I need to take a vacation. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I'm Scott Corum. This is What Has Mattered to Me. I will see you next time on the next Matters of DeCorum. And now, over to Uncle Drac for the outro. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy this video, give it a thumbs down. Feedback is feedback. If there's any other topics you would like to hear Scott talk about, questions you'd like him to answer, subjects you'd like him to cover, please leave a comment down below. He will love getting your comment and you will love leaving him one. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, why not? This channel is awesome. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you do, you might also want to hit the little notification bell so you're alerted when these videos become available. If you would like to support this channel in a more substantial manner, we invite you to hit us up at the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/ScottCorum, and consider donating. Absolutely anything helps and allows us to create better content more often. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.